Good evening and welcome to another episode of Sensei's Hitorigoto. Now, tonight's topic is this word, Hitorigoto. So I was thinking about what the best translation would be, and I think the obvious one is self-talk. But self-talk is a little too banal, B-A-N-A-L, which means a little too ordinary and therefore boring. So then the next word I thought up of was monologue. But a monologue can have negative connotations. Now, a connotation is an idea that is often associated with a certain word. So, for instance, when you hear the word white, what do you imagine? You might think of things like clean and pure. So these words are connotations of the word white. Now, going back to monologue, monologue often has negative connotations. So a person who is giving a monologue can sometimes be a person who doesn't listen to others and tends to dominate the conversation. So you might say something like, this teacher always ignores students' opinions and just carries on with his monologue. Alright, so that's the reason why I don't want to use this word. So then, the next word I came up with is soliloquy. S-O-L-I-L-O-Q-U-Y. Now, you may not have heard of this word before, but it basically means a speech, especially given by characters on a stage, in a play, like a Shakespeare play. So in fact, probably the most famous soliloquy in the world, maybe, is Hamlet's To Be or Not To Be. So that's when Hamlet, he gives a speech explaining how he feels about living and dying. So to be meaning living, not to be meaning dying. Anyway, so maybe I'll explain the origin of this word a little bit more. So soliloquy. The first half, solely. What does this remind you of? Do you know any other words that begin with S-O-L? What about soul, S-O-L-E? Or solo, S-O-L-O? Solitude. So these words are associated with being alone. Now the other half, loki, means to speak. And let me introduce two very difficult words that you might see in the Eiken Grade 1 exam. So the first one is loquacious, L-O-Q-U-A-C-I-O-U-S, which means speaking a lot. So if someone is loquacious, it means that they love speaking and they go on and on and on. And the other word is ventriloquist, V-E-N-T-R-I-L-O-Q-U-I-S-T. Now the ventri bit means stomach, and of course loquist means person who speaks. So what kind of person speaks from their stomach? It's the people who use those puppets and pretend that the puppet is speaking when in fact they themselves are speaking, but without opening their mouths. So essentially they're speaking from their stomach. Anyway, so because this word soliloquy is often associated with Shakespeare, I thought it might be a stylish name to give to my channel. So the official English translation of my channel is Sensei's Soliloquy. And that's all for tonight. I hope you at least learned some new English vocabulary. Alright, so thanks for listening, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Have a good night.